Hello everyone and Happy New Year! Well, when I'm recording and editing this will be in mid-December, but I wanted to get this done just so I can tell you my plans for the coming year. Kinda like what Unlucky Tug does in a sense, but let's see what we have done in the channel. I've mostly been a dead channel for the past few years or so, mostly uploading things like my old recordings and such, and not really done anything new in years. However, in late 2022, I changed that with the beginning of a project I was working on called Theodore Tugboat's Favorite Classics. This project took me almost 2 years to complete and finish, and I am glad to say this video has finally been uploaded and you can see it. It was a big video and one of my greatest achievements in years. Along the way, I've also made 3 other videos in a similar style to my new YouTube look. I made a look at Ringo's Shining Time Station, reacting to how stupid it sounded, Toy Story 2 on Ice, which showed off a recording of an ice show from years ago, and of course my day out with Thomas highlights from 2003. And I recently started a collab with Aero Dragon 2, ranking all 20 boards from the Nintendo 64 era of Mario Party, which is still in production as of the making of this video, and I will leave a link in the description. These are pretty good, and my Theodore project is definitely a big pleaser, but I want to do more so in 2025. I have some ideas in mind for the future in the works, so here they are. This is something that's been on the back burner for some time now after sending my tapes to Agent OOP. While I have uploaded Mr. Moose's Fun Time and the all-new Captain Kangaroo onto my channel before, along with my old recordings of Shining Time Station from Fox Family and PBS before, I've always wanted to show more of my old stuff. YouTube might not be an option since copyright is a thing these days, especially on Thomas, but I could work things out on archive.org. But that doesn't mean my old recordings won't make it onto the channel, period. I'm planning to do the following. Number 1. Sesame Street sketches. There are certain sketches I remember seeing that haven't really made uploads on YouTube, so if the sketch isn't on there, I'll post it. I do have a healthy amount of episodes in some of these tapes, so it'll help a lot. Number 2. Commercial compilations. I've only uploaded a handful of these commercials over a decade ago, most of them commercial breaks for Shining Time and Mr. Moose on Fox Family Channel. But now that I've sent my tapes over, I can now say that I could potentially upload some updated commercial compilations. They will be the same ones, but now all in one video, in a certain series. Maybe some PBS commercials, maybe some Cartoon Network ones, maybe some Nickelodeon ones, and maybe even some from Fox Family. It'll depend on the content, enough for a certain VHS enthusiast to check out if he's interested. Number 3. Rare stuff. Would this mean I could upload stuff rarely ever seen? Well, yes and no. Yes, because I could do the same thing I did once before on the KCET Screen Bugs and show a compilation of that. And no, because there's still stuff that's still mostly copyrighted. Like 2 of my 3 Mr. Moose's Fun Time episodes were blocked worldwide because of Mattel blocking the Thomas segments. So if I decide to re-upload those, more likely than not, I'm going to have to edit out the Thomas segments for YouTube, with the exception of Art Appreciation Day, which somehow survived. The episodes largely affected were Moose Car Races Day with Steamroller, T-Shirt Day with Bulldog, and a promo featuring a bad day for Sir Handel. Wow, Sir Handel's episodes were the ones to get the shaft, while Percy's Season 2 episodes that was never seen on television until then got to survive. How strange is that? So yeah, I'll only upload rare things if there's no problem. If you wanted me to upload the Fox Family airings of Bobby's World, Casper, and Ghostbusters, I say look somewhere else.
Ghost rules, cool.
This one will be a quick one. I mentioned I'd work on this sometime in the future, but I never really got this off the ground. But if anything, we'll see how it works out. I do have the artwork my friends made for me already done, and the script is very well written. I just need to figure out the final edits on stuff. But here's a look at the draft. Yeah, I know what you're thinking when reading the title. Seriously? You're scared of episodes from this kids show? And yeah, you could argue that all you want, but here's the thing. Yes, it is true that the target audience for Thomas is children in the preschool demographic, but there was a time when Thomas did have that charm that appealed to all ages. Today, I'm going to take you through the memories of my childhood with Thomas, namely the ones that temporarily scarred me as a kid. So here we go with my scary childhood Thomas memories. Now, the inspiration for this video actually comes from watching another video made by one of my favorite non-Thomas YouTube users, Rebecca Parham of Let Me Explain Studios. She is awesome, and I suggest going to watch her videos and subscribe to her. Anyways, one of the videos she made is called My Childhood Fears. In that video, she gave details of all the childhood things that scared or intimidated her when she was younger. Stuff like balloons, loud noises, and even thrill rides like the Tower of Terror from Disney World. At the end of the video, she asked if a movie or TV show you were scared of would become your favorite as you got older. With her, she was scared of Disney's Alice in Wonderland and Jurassic Park. So in response to that, I made this comment on the video. I didn't like loud noises myself as a kid. I'm a Thomas fan, so the US version of the episode James Goes Buzz Buzz scared me because George Carlin made a loud scream when James got stung on the nose. That scared me for a while. Now I really enjoy the episodes sometimes. So this brings up all the childhood trauma I had with certain Thomas episodes. What were they? What are the ones that scared me, and how did I get like this? Well, let's take a look. So that's what's been done so far. Maybe I'll get this done before next Halloween, but no promises. On to the next idea in mind. While I was working on my Theodore Tugboat project, I made a special fan-written Thomas script inspired by an old Thomas video of years past. That being The Great Story of Henry by Thomas Fan 8, aka Michael Evans. Since then, the story has been collecting dust and nobody's come up to help with adapting my script. So with this idea, I've invited Tales from the Scrapped Siding creator 22 Tesla to break down what the original version of the story was like, as well as plans on what we'll be doing involving the story I've made. Take it away, Tesla.
Thank you, Dustin. I'll explain things from here. Well, Dustin here has worked on a new adaptation for the story and came to me for assistance in editing the script to make sure it flowed narratively. Well, I can say now the script itself is ready for adaptation. Much like my scrap stories, auditions will be held for roles and the best ones will be chosen. Once selected, actors will be given the links to their lines. I believe Dustin will handle the rest from here. It's a great adaptation of the story, I must say. Feels right at home on Sodor, rather than on the living room floor, if you get my meaning.
Thank you, Tesla. The original story in question is when Sir Topham Hatt decides to retire out of nowhere and gives his job to another controller who is more abusive and mean compared to the old controller. And when Henry accidentally derails some trucks, the controller sends him away to be scrapped. Later, the engines go and rescue him, leading to a big chase scene where the evil controller ends up crashing into a power station. And Sir Topham Hatt, again out of nowhere, states he's not going anywhere and goes back to being controller. I enjoyed this when I was a kid, but as the years passed, I noticed there are a few flaws to it. And that mostly stems from seeing more recent faithful adaptation of Audrey and Allcroft's work. Like, why is there a random power station on Sodor? And at the end the narrator says the engines go back to their old jobs. When did the evil controller change the engine's jobs? It asks so many questions. It's still a great video and I still enjoy it to this day. So, to fix up these flaws, I've written a new version of the story which I've dubbed Henry and the Mean Controller.
In this rewritten version of The Great Story of Henry, the controller makes changes right away as to the jobs the engines normally handle, as well as bringing in his own diesel, namely to replace Gordon's role as express engine. This continues to the other engines as well, including Thomas, who loses his branch line to diesel. Edward might say the evil controller will be gone once the passengers complain, but it seems that might not happen soon enough. There are more significant changes, like culling down the characters to focus on the main engines, giving James a role to stand up to the controller, and of course, giving Toby a very big role. This adaptation also fixes the clunky writing of the original as to how Henry would end up in the smelter's yard. But I shan't say now, or I'll spoil the surprise. Compared to the original, this version of the story is expanded where it is needed and trimmed where it is not. It also allows the characters to do and say more while under the rule of the evil controller.
Indeed, it is quite possibly one of my best written works. Is it on par to Barry Truck's writing works? No, but I think it's close.
It's pretty good, I'll say. Something to eagerly look forward to once it comes out.
Thank you for joining me, Tesla. And now for the last thing to announce. This is something that started out of boredom. I mostly did text review writings for a long time now, though I've been slowly phasing out of that, but haven't really left it. With this, I've started a little something with some friends talking about something interesting. Sing-along videos. You know, those budget kids videos that show musical numbers from various movies and shows into one package? Well, they were fun for me as a kid and made me go into trying my own hand at sing-along videos myself. However, on YouTube, actually reviewing sing-alongs is rather hard to find. The closest to a sing-along review is Colin Looks Back's live-action Disney sing-along songs, where he reviews the live-action entries of Disney sing-along songs. Any other video is those take a camera and review the tape things, which doesn't really engage me that much. So, I've decided to break ground and do something new. I will be making a review series on sing-along videos, with Season 1 being on all 27 volumes of Disney sing-along songs, from Zippity Doo Dah to Disney Princess Sing-Along Songs Volume 3 Perfectly Princess. What a mouthful. So yeah, this will be a daunting task for me, so I decided to let some friends join in. For most of the series, my co-host will be Kentaro22, as he is a big Disney fan like myself. And in some episodes, we'll be a guest reviewer, that being my number one skunk, Jasmine, making her YouTube debut for the first time. But I know what you're thinking. Disney does have a big reputation of taking down videos involving their work, especially when it comes to their songs. But I'm going to try anyway, and if I do end up with problems, then I'll do an edit I call the CRBD edit, also known as the Copyright by Disney edit, where only pictures of the songs can be shown with no clips of them whatsoever. It depends on the stuff shown, so if a video gets blocked worldwide, then a CRBD edit will be worked on. Again, it'll depend on the videos, but I shouldn't be too worried. We'll see what happens. So, those are my plans for 2025. A few things are still in the works, but I'm hoping to get these done for the year. Otherwise, we'll see what we can do here. And one more thing. This one is kinda minor compared to others, but I'm going back into voice acting. Earlier this year, I've recorded some lines for a character in a show a friend of mine is making. When it'll come out, I have no idea. But for those wondering, the series I'm going to be in is called Thomas's Friendship Tales by Little Blue Train 67. And this is the character I will be voicing as, a reckless engine called Ronald, in a Thomasified version of the Theodore Tugboat episode, Theodore and the Unsafe Ship. That's pretty much all I can say about it for now, so be on the lookout for that. But if you are interested in having me voice a character for you, let me know. Right now I'm mostly doing freelance, but I'll think about charging payments if any I need to. Thank you all for watching. Woodfox out.